Welcome or welcome back to another short but definitely not sweet book review. I am your host Shanni, and you are listening to Shanni Horror and Vibes. This week's book review is over A Flicker in the Dark. It is by Stacy Willingham, and I found this book off of TikTok. I done found out in the rabbit hole of book talk pretty much, and I got a list of books that I want to read based off TikTok's review, and I'm gonna start giving you guys my honest opinion on how I felt and was it worth reading these books. Now, I did take a vote on my Instagram and asked you guys, did you want this to be a spoiler or without the spoilers? And I got more reviews with the spoilers, so we're just gonna go for the spoilers. So if you haven't read it, go check it out. Support your local library. Order it on Kindle, and it is on Amazon. I order mine on Kindle, but like I said, Amazon, your local library. This book is classified as a psychological thriller to me, or a mystery if you want to call it. So the gist of the book is pretty much there is a copycat killer on the loose. Now your main characters are going to be Chloe, Daniel, Cooper, and this guy named Aaron, which we find out later in the book that Aaron is. Cooper and Chloe are brother and sister, and their father was accused of committing these series of crimes of these girls coming up missing. All they have is evidence pretty much of something that was left behind, whether it was a ring, an earring, a belly button, something for them to connect them to this missing person, but they didn't never have anybody's pretty much. So it's the 20th year anniversary of these killings, and a copycat killer has started to pop up. Now, automatically on my suspect list, because I am the person who likes to write down my suspect list and guess or try to see if I got it right by the end of the book to see if it was the killer, it was Cooper, who was the brother, Daniel, who is her fiance, and Aaron, who is the news reporter. So while you're reading this book, you do get a lot of flashbacks of Chloe being a younger Chloe, and it explains how her father ended up getting caught, and Chloe being adult Chloe, who is a psychologist and who also has trouble with drugs and over, thinking things that may not even really be true, but she's not sure, so she just acts on an impulse. You learn two different sides of her pretty much in this book. With that being said, you do have to pay attention to when they're doing a flashback and when they are in present day, because she does give what she saw, her version of things about how her dad was looking at Lena, how her brother was just utterly annoyed with Lena, which is one of the girls that was missing and never found. And it gives you a perspective of how you could look at things from an outside picture but not be really on the inside. As the book progressed, you kind of see Chloe struggle with trust issues a whole bunch. And that's just not with Daniel. That's also with her brother and this new guy who was Aaron that she just met. Like, she struggles a lot with trust issues just with men in general. And I think that's part of the reason why she was really abusing those drugs. Like, she was writing prescriptions in her fiance's name, and her fiance didn't even know nothing about it. And I'm just like, you need to go seek help. You're a psychiatrist or somebody, and you're abusing your power for your own good. Why not just go get help too? But when one of the girls that she ends up seeing comes up missing, she ends up being the target of the police department. I want to say a detective, because he kind of was side-eyeing Chloe. Like, at first he was kind of working with her, but then when he kind of dug a little bit more in her past about Chloe having a drug problem and struggling with it in college. Also, her coming up with wild conspiracy theories about her ex-boyfriend and her college roommate. That kind of made the cops look like, okay, are you little boy that cried wolf, or are you really telling the truth? Because she felt like the police or nobody would believe her, she took the investigation into her own hands, because she just knew it was a copycat killer out on the loose, and she was determined to figure out who this person was. But the lead person that was on her list was her own fiance, Daniel. And she felt like it was Daniel because, for one, Daniel was always gone in this book, y'all. Daniel was never at that house. He was out at some meetings all the time. And she ends up having to look in a closet for something, and she ends up finding this one particular thing. I know y'all voted for spoilers, but I just can't give it away, y'all. I just cannot. So she finds this one particular thing that just was a red flag, and I mean a major red flag. And she's like, you know what? Let me dig a little bit more into my fiance's past. How well do I know him? Like my brother said, because her brother told her, you don't know him as much as you think you know him. So she's like, that little bug in her ear just sent her right on out to go do her own digging. So what she ends up finding was just enough to make her ultimately believe that he is the copycat killer. and that she needed to expose him for the crimes that he had committed and the mental torture that he has been putting her through. But like all good books, it has a plot twist within a plot twist to it, and I really think this is the only thing I'm gonna say. I really think they did a good job with trying to make all signs point to him. Now, his story, don't get me wrong, he's not off the hook by far, because what she finds out would have been enough to piss me smooth the hell off, to be honest. But he was not the copycat killer, y'all. So that just leaves two more people, Aaron and Cooper. Stacy did a good job with closing the book out. I was a little sad to find out that Chloe and Daniel really didn't make their relationship work. I mean, but how could they? Their relationship was kind of built off a lie on her end, on his end. Honestly, I just don't see no way that relationship would have worked, because like I said, Chloe had major trust issues. Like, baby girl needed a psychiatrist herself, to be honest, and her being in a relationship just was not going to work out. As much as she tried to be normal, she never felt normal, and I think that's what she was really struggling with, is who is Chloe besides just a psychiatrist. And now that she knew the truth behind everything, it's like, how does she move on from there? My least favorite part is when Daniel calls Bert and has him come over and install the security. My anxiety was so high for Chloe in this chapter, because we find out that Daniel reveals who she really is to this man, and this whole time she's thinking that she got one up on him and he really has to drop on her, and I'm just like, Daniel, why? But at the same time, I didn't really want to fault Daniel, because she didn't tell the truth. That was another problem with Chloe. Like, she had a problem with telling the truth. She liked to dance around the truth. She never told the whole truth. And I think maybe if she just opened up and talked to Daniel, he would have never had called that man over to the house and installed no security wear. But that was my least favorite part, and that's when I was like, OMG. My favorite part of the book is when Chloe finally opens her eyes and sees what is in front of her all this time. And when she does, it's like, she couldn't even believe it herself. I couldn't even believe it myself, and that's part of the plot twist that I don't want to tell you, but it's like, damn. Would I recommend this book for you to read? Absolutely. I think this is a good psychological book. If you are into like heavy gore or dark books, this is it. I mean, it's not too dark. It doesn't go into details of how anybody was hurt. You get the gist, because you realize the serial killer literally takes a possession of that person and keeps it. So that's pretty much your way of knowing that that person is no longer with us. And I like that, because like I said, not everybody likes to go into gruesome details, and she doesn't do that. She gives it to you in a way where it's still nice, but definitely not sweet, how we like it. Based off TikTok, is this book worth the hype? Yep. Go ahead and get it. It's worth the hype. I have to give it a 4 out of a 5. I'm looking for spicy romance in this book. It is not there at all. I mean, you do get a little spice, and I mean, you get a sprinkle of spice, but that's about it. So I would have to give it a 2 if you wanted to look for something spicy in the book. I mean, because it ain't much there. It's mostly just your psychological cat and mouse type book. That is this week's short but definitely not sweet book review on A Flicker in the Dark. I know y'all wanted spoilers, but I would be pissed if y'all told me who the killer was or the plot twist in a book. I probably wouldn't even listen to y'all anymore, to be honest. So no spoilers. I think I'm just gonna leave it spoiler free, but just give how I feel about the book from our further reviews, and we just gonna leave it at that, y'all. As always, thank you so much, Vibe family, for coming in, listening to my first book review. Like I said, I made a list of the popular dark romance or thrillers or mysteries, because that's the genre of books that I kind of want to read, and slashers too. If you have some good slasher books, please recommend those to me on my Instagram. But as always, make sure you guys are following, sharing, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys next time.